Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hello, beautiful people. Jembadde itaita nsanze abasajja nga bagamba lwaki bala batukula Farida lwaki mukula abasajja
omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lilian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba tutegekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future. What you say? For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday, right from 6 to 7, with your girl Teddy Tenjo. But I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls.
Lilian Luwedde, the princess.
Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
Lilian?
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba masanyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna sawa 11 paka sawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Dig Talk Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk. Ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga
and Princess Luwedde Lilian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Uganda is born again.
Mubirabye. Mubiwulidde.
And you will see what NRM means. We are going to crush those criminals.
Mubyenyigiddemu.
We are simply peacefully telling our people, say no to rigged elections.
Ebimu mubitegeera.
Naffe tusobola okutiisatiisa abo abatiisatiisa.
Oba oli awo ng'abamu mugwamu bigwe. Byabaffe byava ku ki?
Era kyova olaba baatukolera ne constitution esinga obusiru mu nsi yonna.
Bino n'ebirala birindirire buli lwa Sande okuva ku ssaawa 11 okutuuka ku ssaawa 1 ey'akawungeezi.
Mbabuuzaako mwenna ate abatwekuumiddeko mu kadde kano program eriiso ly'omukulu era nga ne Sande eno tugguse okubanga ate tubaako ebirala bye tweyongera okumanya ku Honorable Yona Kanyomozi era nga munnange gw'ataliwo Sande eri bingi nnyo no munnange bye wasubwa era bye twayogerako. Honorable yannyonnyola bingi nnyo okusoma kwe na butya bwe yagenda ebweru n'annyonnyola n'engeri ate abaddugavu gye bayisibwangamu nga batuuse ate ebweru oba emitala w'amayanja. Amanyaze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian era nga nkwaniriza gwe yakatwegattako olwaleero eno program eriiso ly'omukulu era nga ebeerawo olunaku lubeera lwa Sunday ssaawa zibeera 11 mpaka ssaawa 12 ate ez'akawungeezi. Twogera nno ku nsonga nnyingi nnyo era nga tuleeta abakulu baneeno okubanga batubuulira butya bwe byali ebyaliwo ebiriwo kati na biki bye basuubira okubanga ate bibeerawo. Negattako nno ne ku Sande eno ate nga twongera okuwulira okuva ewa Honorable Yona Kanyomozi ng'atubuulira ate General Iddi Amini Dada we yawambira biki ebyaliwo. Yatunnyonnyodde nti ate abamu ku basiniya be munnanga ate abaatwalibwa Makindye era nga ye y'omu ku abo abasimattuka era agenda kubanga atubuulira butya bwe yasimattuka because we twakoma ku mulundi guli ate ye mboozi eyali eddako. So kasooka buuza ate kuba tulaba then ate tulyoke tugendere ddala mu maaso ng'atubuulira yasimattuka atya okubanga atwalibwa ate Makindye basiniya be gye baali batwaliddwa. Honorable osiibye otya?
Gyendi
abantu nno baagadde show mikwano gyo bangi nnyo nabo bazze okubanga ate bawuliriza emboozi yo.
Beebaleeko okuliriza ndowooza by'ombuuziza mbiddamu bulungi ate byakosi ya history ebyafaayo ebya Uganda bitonotono okusinga ebinfaako ng'omuntu.
Honorable ndowooza ate omuwulidde bulungi. Bwe twakoma ku mulundi guli ebibuuzo ate byajja era nga tugenda kusooka tumubuuze ngenda kusooka mubuuza ebibuuzo bino ate tulyoke tutandike programu yaffe bw'obujjuvu nga tutandikira wali we yakomanga nga obukulembeze bugenda okukyuka kubanga yannyonnyola n'agamba nti y'omu ku bantu abaali batayagala bukulembeze kubanga bukyuka kubanga yali ate munnange bamaze omwanjulira public nga bamaze okumulaba era nga yeeteeseteese okubanga yeesimbawo naye ate ekitaasoboka byonna agenda kubanga ate bitubuulira naye kasooka tuddemu ebibuuzo bino then ate tutandikirawo nga bwe nkugambye. Honorable, a question came in. Economists, most of the times when they're going to do their courses, they go to India. But for you, you decided to go to a different country. Why was that?
First, actually, most of them didn't go to it. A good number went to India. I don't know. But for me, I had already gone to USA. Then I changed my mind when they didn't allow me to change the institution. I went to England, to the London School of Economics, which I thought is a very good school, even up to now. And when I got there, I did my education, and I was involved in the students' affairs, both Ugandan and the local affairs concerning Britain. I was part of the youth who supported the Labour Party in Britain, which is
The Labour Party in Britain, was it a political party?
this is a political party, a socialist party, left of center party. And that was a very interesting situation. We were involved in these things going on in the world. The Cold War was still on. America was in Vietnam, and we were supporting the people of Vietnam to win the war. Eventually, of course, they did. And also we were supporting people in South Africa. We were looking at the support Western countries had for South Africa, which was not pleasing to us. So the course I took, I think, was appropriate for the things were happening and the intention of the party that was in power, which I supported, to fight ignorance, disease, and poverty.
Let's go back to where we stopped from the previous episode. That was when Amini Dada wanted to take over.
Yes.
To overthrow Dr. government. And you said you're one of those people who didn't like it, who didn't want it.
First of all, I don't like military governments myself, generally.
So
because I don't...
That's the reason as to why you didn't join the army?
No, I actually would have wanted to join the army, but I didn't have the chance to. But I don't like military government because they are not elected by the people. The civilian governments might have the difficulties and what have you, but they serve better. Than the military. The only place where I have supported were those wars of independence and wars which were obvious, like the Cuban Revolution. And I have been to Cuba about 3 times. Those are different. And people will come with a purpose, not power. They come to change society and they work on it, and you see it. Okay, the Cuban Revolution, the Castro overstayed. But at least if you go to Cuba, there is a world of difference. Otherwise, me, I am not in support of military government. No. Yeah.
Did you also come up with a coup in order to fight to stop?
No, we said ours was to fight and change the military government under Amin. Amin was okay. He took power because he had the difficulties with himself and the things that he did, and he was used mostly by Britain and Israel, which wasn't helpful, because the 18 points which were announced as to what the coup was for didn't make any meaning at all, and were never implemented by changing the role of society. He might have done something positive, but what one can say, I think he had a sense for Uganda, but the skirmishes and the killings of the people were not the things that one would have hoped for. You may say, oh, but people were opposing him, they wanted to overthrow him. When he came, he said he was going to stay a very short time here. He was a man of few words. He ended up staying for more than 8 years. Yeah.
Before Amin took over power, you talked about elections.
Yes, the elections were going to come in 1971.
But how was that period before the 1971?
There was differences in the political parties. There was an outlook which didn't support I have told you about the Cold War and differences in politics. And those also affected us here. There was the left, or the socialist inclined parties and governments, and there was the right, mostly supported by Western countries, which also were the ones which were exploiting us. So that difference was there and pronounced. And it has caused many problems to African countries.
One of our viewers talked about, posed the question about FRONASA, and he asked, were you part of FRONASA?
No, I wasn't a part of FRONASA. Why? Because one, initially I was a member of UPC. Two, I didn't know the program. We have a saying in Nyankore that utakwesireto mukurata. You don't follow a person who he's going somewhere, he hasn't called you, you just don't follow. Don't follow blindly. Third, I was a member of UPC, so I wouldn't have gone in for NASA. And but for working against Amin, all of us were in it. Because when Amin took over on the first day, Museveni, me and Kejuka sat in my house and said we must oppose this man. On the same day, on the 25th of January. So yes.
So
and we decided, yes, we decided to ask Museveni, now His Excellency, to actually go to Tanzania and see what the plans Obote had with the Tanzanians to oppose Amin.
How was opposition during that time?
Well, it was scattered. We were all shocked. So there was, when you get a shock, you tend to be frightened out. And people were frightened out. Especially in Ankole, there were always skirmishes in Ankole, misunderstandings, either based on religion or ethnicity. People were arrested in big numbers. People were killed, and things were not good.
By that time, you had decided to join politics. Yes, now I'm into politics.
Yes.
Was Mom okay with that? Didn't she advise you in one way or the other?
You know, she was an old woman, and she thought I should oppose a military government like anybody else.
So she believed in you and she gave you a go-ahead?
Yes. She didn't ask me to go to believe in me, but that she actually saw that this was not the way government was going. The military wasn't accepted to her because she had voted. She knew a government had been in power. For somebody to come up and throw it away wasn't nice. And then the death in Ankole especially shattered so many people.
You've talked about General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. How did you meet? Were you in the same political party?
No.
How did you meet?
First of all, I met here. We were in it. Let me first deal with the political party. The people in Ankole were divided ethnically and not religious, ethnically, and supported different parties. Mr. Museveni was a youth wing of the Democratic Party. I was in UPC. So we had nowhere to meet until 1970, when he decided to work in the president's office and joined the intelligence service and became more or less like a member of UPC. I was in UPC, I stayed in UPC. Two, when did we meet? When I finished O-levels at Ntare School, I got a job in Mbarara High School. Mr. Museveni was there as a student in J2. I was asked to teach mathematics and science in that class and history in junior 1. So I met him in 1960 when I was a student teacher.
So Mr. Museveni was your student?
Yes.
How was he?
Nearly 9 months, more or less, until I went to Nairobi.
How was he in class? What kind of student?
He was a determined person, very determined indeed. And he didn't want to fail anything. But of course, nature has its own way. So he was an average student and a very determined one also.
So that's how you met?
Yes.
After that, you all took different paths, but then you met after?
No, we all took a different paths, but he came more and more. When I was in London, he used to correspond with me on behalf of the debating society at Ntare School. When I came, he had the most students at Nairobi, at Dar es Salaam had moved more towards the left of center politics, or socialist politics, which was the same politics that I was holding. So we met now. Our ideas coincided. Yes. And by the time the elections were going to be held in 1971, both of us were nearly on the same road, because he was now in UPC. He had left DP because he had been working in the intelligence. I was in UPC. We both thought of standing. He wanted to stand in Nyabushozi, and I stand in Kajara. It was southwest Ankole. And unfortunately, we had differences with the leaders of the party. Unfortunately, the president Obote then announced that those who hadn't resigned 3 months ago could not stand. Who hadn't resigned and were working in public institution could not stand.
You were working in UEB?
I was working, it was a public institution. I was working in UEB.
You hadn't resigned?
I hadn't resigned. Museveni was working in the president's office. He hadn't resigned.
That is Dr. Apollo Milton Obote by that time?
Yes. So we were shocked, and it made us even more.
Just there and then?
Yes. Then we all changed and thought the man wasn't going to push the program we wanted. But when the coup happened, we both thought we should pull together and see, even with Obote, and see how we can fight. I mean, but for him, he formed for NASA. For me, when I went to Nairobi, which you haven't reached, we said we are going to do what? We formed our own group called the Save Uganda Movement, which participated in the liberation war against Amin.
But now, so when Amin took over, you decided to work together
Yes.
with Mr. Museveni?
Yes.
As one.
We were already working together because we had a philosophy which was the same. And when he took over on the same day, we went in my house and decided to oppose him.
Didn't you fear anything? The military government has taken over.
Yes.
They might also come for us. We're here talking about
We thought we would be careful, and I think we were careful.
Most of the times when such things happen and amidst shoot people, at times there's that one person who double sides here and then the other side at the same time.
Yeah, we didn't think.
Sometimes they call them
Moors. No, at that time we didn't think we had a mole in our structure. We had differences in the approach or operational approach, but we didn't have people who are Moors. I don't think so.
So you work together?
Yes.
Amini's regime. How was it?
It was hard, because that's the time I also decided, when I went to see those friends who were the Rwakasisis and others from Ankole who were at Makinde, and I nearly we were nearly put in. But I was saved by the fact that I was working for on a UN project, and I was driving a diplomatic car which was actually too big for me. I had a Volvo. I had a Volvo, having moved. Yes. I had a Volvo official car. I had just come out of an Anglia, so which was very, very interesting indeed. But that's what saved me. When a captain came to Makinde to inspect what was going on, he found the car outside and asked, whose car is that? They said, oh, these people who had come to see detainees. And who are they? Even before he knew, he said, you can't not do that, because this car is from United Nations. The people who are there should be got out. It should be got out, not the ones who had become as the detainees, ourselves. We had also made a miscalculation. We thought we should take something which these people can give to get better treatment. So we took drinks and well, included waraji also in it.
So you also took waraji?
We took waraji to
But had you taken it before?
No, we took waraji to give to these people so that they can give it to the soldiers, so that the soldiers treat them well. We found a soldier who was a Muslim, and he didn't take it kindly. It was a total miscalculation. So that's why he delayed us. But when this man, captain, came, he said they should let us out before it becomes an international problem. And that is the time I decided also to try and get away from here. I then applied for a job and moved to Nairobi.
You left the country?
I left the country. By that time, they had also released the Ruakasisis and the group. They were to die later under the invasion of 1972. So by beginning of 72, I was already at the beginning, in February. It was a leap year. On the 29th, I left this country and went to Nairobi to take up a job with the later East African External Telecommunication Company, the company which built what you call communication house. It was my project. I borrowed money for it. That's the world.
Doing all these things during Amini's regime, did
Yeah.
you think about
Yeah.
doing all these things during Amini's regime, trying to overthrow his government and all that? Did you think about your family at any point? Because
Of course, I thought about my family. My mother was here. The people who were close to me, like a man called Fazil, we are still here, although I persuaded him to come to leave the country. He said, oh, he can't leave his family. He ended up being killed after the 72 invasion. And many friends actually disappeared. Did I think about them? Yes, I did. I had to ask my mother to come and see me in America, in Kenya. And he came. Unfortunately, on return, he fell sick and passed on. And getting here to bury him, to bury her, was a nightmare. The car which brought my family was seized by the authorities, and it was very bad. And for me, I was conscious of it. So what I did was, I came by aeroplane with my small daughter who was about 6 months, and we
something here.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about the wife in the story, and then remember you had told
I had, when I got to Kenya and settled down, I thought living the life of a single person wasn't going to help me with the position I was holding. I was assistant general manager of the company, and responsible for development in the whole of East Africa. And that's when I started the communication house. And we were thinking of having a satellite station for Uganda and balancing the equity, and was looking after the projects in Tanzania also. So I decided to have a partner, and that partner gave me my second child. Because I left here with a child also, my first son. But the formal wedding came later.
Before you left Uganda to Nairobi?
No, the formal wedding came later, after some time. But I had a partner, yes.
Okay, so you came back to
bury my mother. Where?
You said you came
Yes, my son and my partner came in a car. Me, because of fear that the car wouldn't be the best means to get me here, came with my small daughter in a plane. We came and buried.
After the burial?
After the burial, I took off.
You went back?
I took off to Nairobi, yes.
With your family or you alone?
Me and my daughter. My family, the car, when it was taken by the security people, I had a manager looking after Ugandan affairs. He gave them the car to take them back to Kenya.
So for you disappeared. You went back to Kenya or?
I went back to Kenya, yes.
Went to another country?
No, I went to Kenya.
So when you reached in Kenya,
yes.
Was life normal? Did you try
No.
to do other things?
No, I kept on with my job. I kept on with my job until decided to visit Kenya. When he came, that's when the Jore George Wanuka and others were seized and they disappeared. They came looking for me and my friend Akena Pajok. Akena Pajok was saved because he had a Kenyan wife. The relatives were high up in position. So for me, I decided to take off and go to Zaire, to Congo.
You left Kenya?
Yes.
Then went to Congo?
Yes.
You felt that Kenya wasn't safe for you?
No, it wasn't, because people had been, even including the man who read the 18 points. He disappeared. And the man who owned the part of the thing at Cape Town Villas, he disappeared. So I couldn't, at that time, couldn't have stayed there.
You also disappeared? And
I also, I went to Zaire and stayed there a month until things cooled down.
And you came back?
Then I came back.
Which year was that?
1974.
Amin was still the president?
Yes,
by that time.
yes.
You came back to
1974.
Uganda?
Yeah?
You went back to Kenya?
How could I go to Uganda? My job was in Kenya. My headquarters was in Kenya.
You went back to Kenya?
Yes, I went back to Kenya.
How long did you stay in Kenya?
My job stayed on until the community collapsed in 1977. The company was a East African community. It was East African External Telecommunications Company, shortened Exterecoms. And it operated in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. It built the satellite stations. It built the telecommunication all over the place. It was for external telecommunication.
So where was Mr. Museveni during that time?
He was in Tanzania. All of us planning to see how Amin gets off.
Were you in talks?
Eh?
Were you in talks with
Was I in contact? Yes, of course I had. We were in contact with everybody, although we had to say...
You never met during that time?
Oh, of course we met. When we jam and this boy, not boy now, the big man Salim Saleh came to go to join Museveni down south. I and my friend Bakena Pojoka are the ones who arranged for them to go. And I was grateful when I came back and I found them here with Rwijama. Rwijama took me for a meal at least. But I haven't got anything yet from Salim Saleh. I'm still waiting.
You're hoping to get one?
Yes.
You're still waiting?
I'm still waiting. Maybe in what do they call it? Wealth creation?
Operation Wealth Creation.
I'm still waiting. I'm still here.
Tuchali, the Honorable Yona Kanyomozi, sorry, Honorable Yona Kanyomozi.
The Honorable you can drop. You can drop the Honorable Nchali wano nga Kanyomozi.
Achage nambasino kubanga ate atubulira ku mboozi yendoza bingi nnyo ate bye muwulidde okuva gye twatandikidde ne Sundays ate eziyise emboozi ze tubadde tunyumyako anyumya engeri ate obulamu gye bwalimu awo nno nga obuyinza bumaze okuba nga bukyuka nga bumaze okuva ate mu mikono gya Dr. Apollo Milton Obote ow'ekibiina ekya UPC awo nno ng'ate obuyinza bukyukidde ddala nga mwami Iddi Amini Dada ate kati omukulembeze w'eggwanga annyonnyola engeri gye basinkanamu ne General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni era nga ye mukulembeze w'eggwanga aliko essaawa zino butya bwe basinkana na butya ate bwe bakola enteekateeka okulaba nti ate bajjako gavumenti eyali eriko ebiseera tukyagenda maaso era nga ngenda kuddayo ewa Honorable ate tweyongere tumweyongeza abe nga ate atunnyonnyola bingi nnyo ate ebisinga ku bwe twakawulira tukyagenda maaso Honorable olwo wano mukolaganye ne Museveni Mr. Museveni rather had he started talking about going to the bush by that time?
We were already in the bush. We were already in the bush. We were trying to find the bush to go to. Because we were not in Uganda, which bush would we go to? We were trying to move Museveni, Amin out. And we went to the conference, to, what is it? Mosh conference. And we went there and we joined forces with Obote, with everybody, under Rure as the chairman. Supported the Tanzanians because Amin had made a mistake of invading Tanzanians. We appealed to Nyerere and the war started. By that time, when the community fell, I had already got another job as an economist loan officer to African Development Bank. So when the things were wheeling up, I was in West Africa. Initially, I was assigned Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia as my countries to look after. And Amin's people went and pressed the president of the bank. They changed me and put me in West Africa to look at Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Gambia. So I lost my contacts here.
So,
But
did you know that you were trying to overthrow his government?
the rumors get around.
And that is why you were transferred?
Yes. They assigned me different countries. I was in Abidjan then. Yeah.
But then you were transferred to West Africa?
No. I was in West Africa after the community fell in 1977.
You were transferred to?
No, I applied for a job in the African Development Bank. A man called Badil wrote the stunning recommendation for me, and I got the job in the African Development Bank. But the chap who was the head of the department, operations department, said I should work in Tanzania, in Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. So I was covering those countries. I wasn't living here. I came as these World Bank people who come here regularly. I was going to those countries until And of course, I was using that chance. You know Yarabusia Road? Yes, it was one of my project the job. So I was coming up to where you see monkeys. I would come in we are going into details. I would come, enter, because I was coming with the Kenyan number to see how the road is and what have you, and get in and do my connection. And it leaked out. Then they changed me and assigned me countries in West Africa. So I lost my contact.
You really suffered during the ministry.
It was hard. It was hard.
It was hard, but then you managed.
I managed
to survive.
Yes. So when I stayed in ADB until the conference for Moshi was called. I went there, attended the conference. I would have been in the things, but I hadn't resigned from the bank, and I had moved my family there. So I didn't want to take on the responsibility, and I didn't know overthrowing Amin was going to be as quick as it turned out to be. So I didn't take up responsibility, but I came here as a man to do the what? To join the National Consultative Council. I was in Parliament. So when I went back, I told my boss, the president of the bank, that I would like to resign and go to Uganda. They said, yes, you can resign, and we will give you an opportunity. If you come back, you want to come back, as long as you come quickly and take up. When I got here, you know what happened? We changed the presidents. The one who came, the Rure, stayed for 68 days. We got Benaisa. I was appointed the Minister of Cooperatives.
You were appointed as a minister?
Yes, of cooperatives. That's the only ministry I served in the 6 years I was in that ministry. When Obote came, he also put me there, so I remained a minister of cooperative.
But you enjoyed?
No, I did. I did the ministry, and up to now, even this lady who came and took over the ministry, who is Lydia Chambade, thought I should get a plaque for it, for the work I did in the ministry during my time.
You did a very wonderful job.
I did. So that one I cannot hide it. I did a wonderful job. The cooperatives were moving. The cooperatives in this country were moving.
Wasn't Mr. Museveni also given a ministry during that time?
During Benaisa's time, first during Rure's time, second during Benaisa's time. Yes, he was. Started over as the Minister of State for what? For defense. Then this man moved him. Benaisa made a mistake and moved him. He nearly also moved me from cooperative, but he didn't succeed. He became regional corporation. And then Benaisa made a mistake of wanting Oito Joke to go as an ambassador to Algeria. I don't know what we had in Algeria. So as a result, the military commission which we had formed in Moshi decided to send him packing. Benaisa was sent packing, and the military commissions took over. We had Muanga. We had a tripartite people for sure, and Muanga as the chairman, Museveni as the commissioner, the vice chairman, and me, I was working with Museveni in his office as an advisor or something. So I stayed there until we held elections, which brought Obote back.
In 1980?
1980, yes.
Did you contest, or did you have any
No, I contested. Contested for what? For presidency.
for an MP or president?
I was an MP for Kajara, Ankole Southwest, yes.
Time round
Bushed.
you came
And contested, yes.
So
And
Apollo Milton Obote comes back again.
yes, yes. And he called me in the people he gave the ministries. First, I was number 1. So I went back to cooperative.
Was it because you never changed the political party from UPC? Or to
No.
PDM?
I was not that. I think I had performed very well in the elections, and I had performed very well in the ministry.
This time round, you were given a different ministry, or the
No,
same?
I never went. I have never worked in any other ministry.
So that was your ministry.
Yes, even up to now, if you go to all the people who have been in around, they call in the north they call me Radit Society. Do you know what it means? Mr. Cooperative. And here, if you go anywhere, they will say, because I started these cars which had promote this, promote cooperative, promote, build this, and I have you. They still call me, in Ankole, they call me promote. And in others, in here, I don't know what they call me in Buganda. But we moved this country a bit in the 4 years.
You were given a ministry in Obote's regime.
Yes.
Where was your friend, Mr. Museveni?
Oh, my friend who decided to go to the bush.
That was. Didn't you go with him?
No.
Why? But you have.
Because he didn't call me. I have already given you a saying. Ayo Munyankore, you can tell her. Utakwesire eto mukurat. The person who hasn't called you, you don't follow him.
But you were friends.
Yes, we were friends. Not all his friends went. Who were called, who were... Maybe.
Was it because you were given a ministry?
No. No.
You didn't
Because I didn't think that it was the right thing to do. Even if you called me, maybe I wouldn't have gone.
The right thing to do was
Yes.
to serve people when you were given a ministry.
Yes, serve the people. And I continued serving them. You ask them about the cooperatives of the of the period I was there, and they will tell you.
Member of Parliament in Ruje. You said
Kashara.
Kashara, yes. What are some of the achievements you did during that time?
In Kashara, I built schools. I built health centers. I tried to help people to get jobs. Up to now, I think they respect me.
They give you respect.
Yes. When I came, when the first elections of expanding NRC, I was voted overwhelmingly by the people there. I came here from 89. I became an NRC, and in 89, I was the chairman of parastatals.
I remember in Obote's first regime, there
Yes.
was abolition of kingdoms and chiefdoms.
Yes.
When he came back in the second regime, did he think about that? Did he think about bringing back the kingdoms?
No, so what has been done was done, and I don't think he thought about that. And I think the majority of us didn't think about it.
You didn't see it as something necessary to...
I think the only way I think about monarchy and what have you, I don't believe there are institutions which are necessary for some societies. I know you are a princess, but I don't think they are necessary institutions which need to be in the leadership of the country, or which should hold the country at ransom. No.
We are now in Obote's regime.
Yes.
The second one.
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
No, it wasn't nice because because what happened was Museveni decided to go to the bush, and he had people here in Buganda supporting him 10 kilometers from the headquarters of the country. So it was rough, but outside, in other places, it wasn't the same. The people here supported him, and partly the church, the Catholic Church also supported him. So they made their life a bit tough because they were too close to this place.
Regime,
yes.
Elite.
Yes.
Your friend decided to go to the bush.
Yes.
You refused to join him.
Yeah, and I didn't refuse because he didn't call me.
But you said even if he had called you,
yes,
you shouldn't have joined him.
I shouldn't have joined him because I don't think you change governments that way. Until these people, in the army, mostly from Machori, decided to change the government.
What are some of those things you did during Obote's regime as a minister and as the member of parliament in general?
First, I have told you, I moved the cooperatives, put them back in a situation. When they refused to move very fast to make marketing boards part of owned by the farmers, so by the peasants and farmers, I decided to start an export wing of the cooperatives. I worked hard on the transportation and on the financing of crop purchase, and started diversifying cooperatives to take on other activities instead of selling coffee or selling cotton, and they were moving.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You said you were once Mr. Museveni's teacher.
Yeah, he's a student teacher. Yeah.
But did you at any point guide him on the step that he was on, the step that he took of going to the bush? Did you advise him in one way or the other?
No, I didn't.
You didn't even talk about it, oh, I'm going to the bush, at least I'm going to do this and this, how did you?
No. Maybe you couldn't talk to a minister serving in government.
So he decided to do it alone without you knowing?
Yes.
Okay. So, Honorable, you're in Obote's government working together, and then your colleague went to the bush. He came back to overthrow the government.
Yes. No, he didn't overthrow the government. The army overthrew the government. Museveni didn't overthrow Obote's government. No, Rutwa and Rutwa and Bazili Okello are the ones who overthrew the government. I think you know that.
Yeah.
That's why there was Nairobi peace talks and what have you. He didn't. Museveni didn't. In fact, by the time the government was overthrown, Museveni was in Sweden. So he couldn't overthrow us from Stockholm. No.
So now he goes from Obote's regime and Mr. Museveni comes in.
Yes. No, we first got the army overthrew who?
They overthrew
Obote. Then Museveni overthrew them. After
the army overthrew Obote's government.
Yes.
The army took over and then Mr. Museveni came and also
overthrew them.
So we are now talking about Museveni.
Yes.
Museveni's regime.
Yes.
After the overthrow of Dr. Obote's government, you were a minister during that time. So Mr. Museveni's government came. Where were you? Did you resort to other things and then you left politics? Or you
No. I went and stood for NRC. I told you. And beat Museveni's minister who had repressed me in the cooperative. Very badly, actually. I came back in NRC as a member of National Resistance Council. I was made a chairman of Parastatal Commission in Parliament, the one which was dealing with the parastatals. Yeah.
By the time Mr. Museveni took over the government that was in power during that time, weren't you given any ministry this time round?
In which one?
In Mr. Museveni's government?
No, I have never been given even a sweeper's job. I haven't.
Was it because you didn't join him?
I don't know. That one you can ask him. You can ask him because I did not join. I haven't joined. The only thing I joined was Parliament, the National Resistance Council. That one I joined. And on the vote of people in Kajara.
But if I told you he gave you a position in his government,
Yeah.
would you have accepted it?
That's speculation. You can't speculate that. He hasn't given it to me. So I can't say.
Then if he had given it to you,
Yeah?
hey, as a friend, you know, my day, we were together before I went to the bush, we were friends. Now,
Since he hasn't given it to me, I can't say whether I would accept it or not. Eh? Don't you see?
Yes.
Yes. He knows where I stay. Yeah, he knows where I am. He knows how I work. No, I don't know whether maybe he'll consider it since he's here for some time. Maybe he'll call me one of these days and see, and well, then that's when I will start considering it. Because I don't want to speculate.
Honorable, we're closing it from here today.
You are closing it from here today. But you have forgotten that I also stood to be a member of East African Legislative Assembly.
We're going to reach there in our next episode.
Hey, is there another episode?
Yes, we're going to talk about that in our next episode.
Oh, well,
Yes.
all right.
We still have a lot to talk about.
Oh, well, I will explain that one also.
Okay.
Okay.
Your closing remarks for today, Honorable.
I'm happy that I have had this opportunity to talk with you, and I hope I have given you an insight and those of your audience of what we have gone through. Although we haven't gone deep in things that concern the people and the youth, as you said, I haven't talked to them about things which concern them, because there are things which I find a bit difficult to understand as my profession. When you give people money to develop themselves without a plan, I find that one awkward. We had Ruwengo, we had Ntandikwa, we had Myoga, we have Words Correlation, now we have Village Modro, we have a parish model. But these things are done like experimentation. When I was in school, they said, you do an experiment, you do observation, you do assessment, and what have you, you know what the experiment. Before you start another experiment, another one comes in. So you end up without getting a feedback to help you to plan the next step. And since it is for the young people, they should question that and see how we move.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much. Mwenna ababaddeko kuba gye twatandikira okubanga ate wano tugenda okubanga tuwunzikira eriiso ly'omukulu waddugala ate wewala bakansuubire gwali eyo ofunyemu ekyokuyiga mu bigambo bya Honorable Kanyomozi ate nga ku mulundi guno wano tugenda okubanga ate tuwunzikira programu yaffe y'olwaleero paka Sande ate eddako wetunaabanga ate twogera ebisinga ku bino wano nno wetukomye nga Geno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ate yakatwala obuyinza tunnyonnyodde nti bwe yatwala obuyinza teyasobola kubanga ate aweebwa ministry era n'ategeeza nti alindiridde naye tomanyi oluvuganya obaoliawo ayinza ate okubanga ajjukirwa obaoliawo ate naye anaabaako ekifo kyawebwa. Amanya nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian, ono sigenda kubanga ate nsukkawo naye ng'ate ngenda kubanga mbaagaliza ate sabbiiti ennungi tusinkane omulundi ogujja.
Uganda is born again.
Mubirabye. Mubiwulidde.
And you will see what NRM means. We are going to crush those criminals.
Mubyenyigiddemu.
We are simply peacefully telling our people, say no to rigged elections.
Ebimu mubitegeera.
Naffe tusobola okutiisatiisa abo abatiisatiisa.
Oba oliawo ng'abamu mugwamu bigwe. Byabaffe byava ku ki?
Era kyova olaba baatukolera ne constitution esinga obusiru mu nsi yonna.
Bino n'ebirala birindirire buli lwa Sande okuva ku ssaawa 11 okutuuka ku ssaawa 1 ey'akawungeezi.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Jembadde itaita nsanza abasajja nga bagamba lwaki abala batukuula Farida lwaki mukuula abasajja?
Omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lilian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba nti batutegekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future wakiise. For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday right from 6 to 7 with your girl Teddy Tenjo, but I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls.
Lilian Luwedde, the princess.
Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
You have got to get up pretty early to go do something. We are the Alternative Dig Talk. With our mobile studios, we are redefining TV presentation just as technology is setting the pace. We are blending our approach with fresh, perspectively designed breakfast show, The Mighty Drive, informative and entertainment show, exclusive and live interviews.
We President Museveni wadde juzi namulaba apima akawunga kilo 2 tasobola kalya nini bwaba alya kilo 5 oyanema okuliisa eggwanga ne bwe limundekera.
Njagala kwebaza the Alternative Dig Talk etuwadde kano ka Mighty Drive era n'abatuwuliriza bonna abali ku mikutu njagala basaba mugende mu maaso n'okuwuliriza.
All given to you just a click away on your phone, tablet, laptop and smart TVs as we are streaming live on our social media platforms, on the road and on the go. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Nze Omumbejja Luwedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage. The Voltage gaba masanyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omonno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna ssaawa 11 paka ssaawa emu ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda baganda baffe bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abdulatif and I welcome you to the Hotline Show here at the Alternative Digital as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk. Ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga
and Princess Luwedde Lilian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk.